Yo, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be looking at the top 5 best loadouts you should be dropping into Warzone 2 with on November 16th. We're going to have all the tunings and attachments and everything for you guys. Before we jump into the video, I'd like to do a big shout out to the Noti Gang. If you'd like to be featured in the next Noti Gang shout out, make sure to like the video, subscribe, ring the bell, and comment Noti Gang below. Before we jump into the guns, I thought I'd just show you the tacticals, lethals, perks, and the field upgrades. So I'm rocking the flash grenades on every loadout because they're stupid and OP. For the lethals, I'm doing probably like Simtex, maybe a throwing knife, but probably just Simtex. For the perk packages, I'm doing on everything. I'm doing Overkill, Battle Hardened, Fast Hands, and Ghost. And just because it just feels like the best to me. Let me know if you guys disagree with that, but that just feels the best. For field upgrades, I have no research on this. I don't know if this is the best, but it feels really good to me, which is this balance between dead silence and munitions, and I can just toggle which one I need. So yeah, that's just a little bit about that. It feels like there's a good place to start before we jump into the loadout. The loadouts. Something else I thought would be important to share is that I gathered this information from reliable sources such as pros and CDL pros that are in the scene. And the specialist, biggest shout out to Wars, who has done an incredible amount of testing on specific weapon tunings, some of which is really, really broken or has really, really broken the game. And just to show you that really quickly, that's going to be the ammunition type. If you guys just throw on high velocity or even other types of ammunition types, you can go in and you can tune them and you can just buff up the bullet velocity and the damage range. And it takes any gun in the game and just shoots its range out way farther than the gun is intended to use. So that's not exclusive to any one gun. That's just something right now that feels a little exploity that most people are using for their loadouts, and we're going to be utilizing on almost every one of our loadouts. So shout out to Wars and the community for finding that information. I just wanted to go ahead and clarify that's a very important part of today's build. Let's start things off with the number 1 loadout on the list, which is going to be what I use for game number 1 of Warzone 2, and that's going to be the MCPR 300 and the Kastov 74U. Everybody who's played Al Mazrah has said that the ranges are going to be significant, and it's going to be hard to AR people or even LMG kind of at super long ranges. The MCPR hit scans 300 meters plus, and the Kastov 74U is so broken that it's G8 in competitive play. You'll have no problem killing people in that 50 plus meter range that MCPR might struggle with because it is a little bit of a heavier sniper a la HDR. So let's jump into the attachments just to take a look at how we built this out. First up, for the muzzle in the MCPR, we've gone with the sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness of the Bruin Agent 90, and we'll be doing the tunings afterwards. I'm going back and forth between the OMX 456 and the Orca barrel. The Orca barrel is a little bit lighter, but the OMX gives it even more bullet velocity and damage range. And really what I'm going for with this is I'm looking for it to hit scan at hundreds of meters. And so I know I'm going to get that with the OMX. So that's what I've gone with. But if you want it to be lighter, go ahead and switch it to the Orca. Okay, guys? Next up, I'm rocking the FSS OLV laser. I recommend that you unlock this today. It's like my favorite attachment because you can throw it on a bunch of guns and just give that ADS and sprint to fire even higher. Just like I said earlier in the intro, this is the most important thing for you to learn in this video, and that's going to be the ammunition type that you can go in and tune, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. So we're doing high velocity here, and then finally we're doing this Cronin cheetah grip. That's just going to give us that ADS and sprint to fire. So let's take a look at the attachment tunings, and let's just go check out the gun. So first up for the tunings, we've done this with the ADS and the bullet velocity. It's just going to make it hit scan. The OMX, I've gone in and tuned it to just have extra damage range. Again, just making it hit scan in every way, shape, or form. And then like I was saying with the ammunition type, just bumping up that damage range and bullet velocity. And that's just going to get you going. For the cheetah grip, I've gone with the aiming idle stability because I hate that sway. And then I've done the ADS speed. So if we go into our firing range, we're going to take a look at kind of what it looks like. Not really that you're going to get like a great representation of this, but the ADS isn't too terrible. And these guys will not die to one hit. These little dummies won't die to one hit to like an SPX or an SPR. It's just a heavier sniper rifle. You're not going to have I just missed a shot. You're not going to have a hard time just one-shotting people. It's easy peasy. This gun, take it into Invasion. Go watch people use it. It's just ridiculously powerful. The MCPR is going to be my go-to at range. Next up for pairing it with it is going to be the Kastov 74U. Take a look at the attachments here if you guys want to take a look. We're going to jump into the attachment tuning here in just a moment, but the X10 Havoc is going to help us out. With that just like horizontal and vertical recoil control. The BR209 barrel has that ADS and that movement speed that we so want on anything that's pairing with a sniper. And then of course we've done the ammunition that I told you about earlier in the same exact way that we did with our MCPR. Now I've opted to go with a 45 round mag because it's a BR and I'm probably gonna be playing trios, so I want killability. I think some people have used, I think it's like the Agent Tiger Grip or something, the F-Tech Tiger Grip. I don't have that unlocked, so if you guys want to rock that, you can. I think the 45 round mag is going to be huge. And then also I've gone with the F-Tac Tiger right here. So let's take a look at how I've tuned this. With the Havoc, I've gone with gun kick and I've kept everything else the same. With the BR, I've gone ADS and recoil steadiness. With the True Tac, I've gone sprint to fire and nothing over here. And then with the ammunition type, I've gone the exact same way with the sniper, the bullet velocity and damage range. We can take a look at it in the firing range. And again, guys, this thing's G8. I don't think I have to tell you how strong this 74U is. It's just going to take care of everything, any trouble that we have, even at range. I mean, I killed that 50-meter guy just as fast as I killed the 25-meter guy, if not faster. I mean, this gun's so powerful. Highly recommend. It's just going to pair really well with anything long range, guys. Like, you might lose to an MP5 maybe, but I mean, the Kastov 74U, like I said, don't have to tell you, it's incredibly powerful, and I'll be using it on a lot of different loadouts here in Warzone 2. For loadout number 2, I've opted to go with the TAC-56 in the Lachmann sub. The TAC-56 is one of the most popular ARs that the COD pros are using, and then the Lachmann sub is my personal favorite, and honestly a fan favorite. Everyone loves the MP5 for its hip fire, and it's just overall time to kill. So let's take a look at what we've done with our TAC-V and our Lachmann sub to get you guys set up for Warzone 2. First up, for the muzzle, we've gone with the Komodo Heavy. That's just going to give us that horizontal recoil control. But once you tune it, it gives you much more than that. We've done with the Tundra Pro Barrel. It's going to give us damage range, hip fire, and bullet velocity. We've got the Phase 3 grip. Again, guys, this is all from pro builds. Aiming auto stability, hip fire control, and recoil stabilization. We've done the exact same thing with our TAC-V that we've done with pretty much every gun up to this point. That's the high velocity ammunition type. For the optic, I've gone with the Cronin Mini Pro. I know you can do VLK for ARs, which I know this is our first one. I don't really like the visual recoil on the like 4x optics. So right now I have the Mini Pro. I might switch to VLK on launch, depending on how things feel. So these are our 5 attachments. Let's take a look at the tuning really quick. For the Komodo, we've just done the gun kick control, kept everything else the same. For the Tundra Barrel, we've gone with damage range and kept everything else the same. And for the Phase 3, we've gone with aiming idle and kept everything else the same. And of course, just like our other guns, we've gone with the high velocity ammunition with the bullet velocity and damage range maxed. And for the Cronin Mini Pro, I've gone with the ADS speed and far. This is our first weapon with an optic like this. So just to give you a quick explanation of near and far, or close and far. Far makes the reticle a little bit further away from you, but reduces visual recoil. So you won't see them as well, but you're not going to have visual recoil. I don't like visual recoil. I don't like the weapon sway. It reduces both of that. So I've gone with far. Many people are going with far. I recommend trying it in the gunsmith or the firing range and seeing how you like it. Let's see how this TAC-V shoots. Yeah, I mean, it pretty much doesn't move and it does a ton of damage, and you're not going to have any issues hitting anything because of that ammunition type being, again, I don't want to call it a bug, but being able to just buff up your damage range and bullet velocity is really powerful. I killed 4 dummies in 1 magazine, and it's a 30-round mag, guys, right? So this thing is going to absolutely decimate in Warzone 2. Highly recommend, if you haven't tried the F-Tac yet, that you do it. Or not the TAC-V. It's really good. The SCAR is incredible. Okay, so there's my AR of choice. As for the SMG, we've gone with the Lachmann sub, the MP5, again being a fan favorite, and it's my personal favorite SMG across most Call of Duty games. So we've gone with the Bruin Cubic Comp for the vertical and horizontal. It has a minus ADS. We're about to mitigate that with the Merc foregrip, not with the Merc foregrip, because that also hurts your ADS speed, but again, just wait. The VLK laser is going to give that ADS speed, sprint to fire, everything that you need. The VLK is so good. I've gone with a 40-round magazine here because I really want the ammo type. Like, I really want the extra ammo, and I've actually opted to not go with the ammunition. I'm going to tell you why here in just a few minutes. Okay, so I've gone with the 40-round mag and also the LM Cronus grip, mostly because of what you can do inside of the tuning. So let's take a look at the tuning. Let's see why I didn't use the ammunition type for this gun. Just kind of show you my thought process here. So for the Bruin Cubic Comp, I've gone with ADS speed and gun kick control, as you can see on screen. For the Merc foregrip, I've gone ADS speed and hip fire recoil. And VLK doesn't have tuning, neither does the 40-round mag. But for the Cronus tuning, I've gone with the ADS and the sprint to fire. Let's take a look at our MP5 and kind of see why I built it the way that I have. So you might be asking, Josh, why didn't you go with the ammunition type with the damage range and the bullet velocity? Well, what I want my MP5 to do is I want my MP5 to kill up close, and I want my TAC-V to kind of get like those medium ranges and stuff. It's so light and snappy, I'm not going to have any issues at that. So with that being said, I don't feel as though I need that bullet velocity. And what I really wanted to focus on was this a really light and snappy ADS time and something that can kill really quick, really up close. On top of that, the next thing I wanted to focus on that I couldn't really get if I went with the ammunition is just amazing hip fire. So this hip fire is going to do you really, really well. And that's farther than I usually hip fire. I usually hip fire from right here. And guys, you're going to shred. If someone has an AK-74U, you can just hip fire like this, or you can just hip fire like that, just quickly ADS on them. There's no way they're going to win. So I think with this MP5 build, you're going to be solid and you're going to win a majority of your close range battles. For my third loadout, I've gone with the SAB-50 and the STB-556. The SAB-50 is a really light and snappy marksman rifle that you can also use at very high ranges, which I'm going to show you in a second. And then the STB, I think, is a la FFAR. Going to be so good to be pairing with your different snipers that I opted to use this over the FSS Hurricane for this build. I went back and forth, and I just think that the STB is so good. It's so much more than the Hurricane. I might be wrong about this, but trust me, when I show you this build, you guys are going to love it. So let's jump into the attachments and show you the tunings and all that stuff. So first up for the muzzle, we've gone with the Polar Fire S. That's going to give us that sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness for our SAB. The FSS Old V, I don't have to show you that again. It's so good with that ADS. We've gone with the high velocity again, and we have that tuned the same way that we've been doing it. For the optic, I've gone with the MW2. I just feel like this is just really, really solid with an 8x magnifier. You guys can kind of mess around with this if you guys want to use the VLK or something a little bit different. I just think the HMW looks really clean. To me, it's a personal preference completely. And then lastly, we have opted to go with the Schlager match grip here. That's going to give you sprint to fire and ADS. Let's take a look at how we've tuned this and then take a look at it in the range. So I've gone with ADS speed here and bullet velocity. Kind of the key here is to keep that bullet velocity high. So with the high velocity rounds, we've gone with bullet velocity and damage range once again. Our optic, again, keeping it at that far range and then giving us a bonus to ADS speed. And finally, with the Schlager, we've gone with the aiming idle stability because I hate when snipers sway, and so that's going to help out. And then we've gone with the ADS because recoil through this doesn't really matter. And then here is our SAB in action. Watch this instantaneous hit ADS there. And again, like I said, with the big bonus to the NCPR is that it just does more damage. This is still a marksman rifle, so you might have to hit a couple of shots in order to get that kill on your target. But for just being quick and getting it down, finishing a target, this is going to be so good. And so that's what that is right there. Next up with the SAB-50, I've opted to go with the STB. Now the STB is really light and snappy, but can also hit ridiculously ranges. And so let's take a look at how I've built it. I've gone with the Harbinger D20. It's gonna give us sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness. We've gone with the VLK laser we've already looked at for ADS speed. I've opted to go with the 42 round mags. Again, you could go with the ammunition type, but it already hits such good ranges, and we kind of want it to be a good SMG. So I've opted to go with the 42. I've opted to use the STIP 40 grip and the F-Tac Research. That's going to make this even more agile and mobile, and I valued that over the ammunition type here. Again, the STIP does the recoil control. That's going to keep it kind of a beam, and then the Research is going to get that sprint to fire and ADS speed. So let's take a look at our tunings today. I've gone with ADS speed and nothing down here for the muzzle. For the STIP 40 grip, we've done ADS speed and sprint to fire. And for the F-Tac C11 Reezer, we've gone with the ADS speed and recoil stabilization. We're going to jump into the firing range and see how this plays. And just right away, you're going to notice that the damage, close range, medium range, and far range is really, really good. And the ADS speed may be a little bit slower than the MP5 and even the AK-74U. What it lacks in that ADS speed and mobility, it's going to just absolutely destroy from most ranges. Like, remember how I said a la FFAR? That's kind of how this feels, especially if you use a controller. The aim assist feels really powerful, and you just lock onto targets from close, guys. So definitely recommend using this as a sniper support. And that's going to do it for loadout number 3. For our fourth loadout, I've opted to go with the Kastov 762 or the AK and the Fennec. I think these pair really well together because the AK does so much damage from that medium and far. And the Fennec is going to take care of everything you need it to take care of from up close. So let's take a look at our loadouts and see how we prepped everything up today. First up for the muzzle, we've gone with the Lockshot KT, and that's going to give us that vertical and horizontal that we so desperately need on this. For the barrel, we've gone with the IG K30. It's going to give us recoil, control, and bullet velocity. Admittedly, if you have the Cast 10, I might rock this instead. I just don't have this attachment, so I've gone with the IG there. For the underbarrel, we've gone with Pineapple. Pineapple is just universally an incredible attachment to control recoil, and that's going to be our priority on this. Once again, we've gone with this ammunition type for that bullet velocity and damage range, which the AK actually really benefits from. And then finally, for the optic, my favorite, the Cronin Mini Pro. Let's take a look at how we have tuned these. First up, we have the ADS speed and the gun kick control underneath the muzzle. For the barrel, we have gone with nothing except for damage range. And for the pineapple, we've gone with ADS speed and nothing over here. And then finally, for the high velocity, we know how we were going to do that, right? It's bullet velocity and damage range. And then finally, for the Cronin Mini, we've gone with the FAR and the ADS speed. Let's see how it plays. This one probably surprised me one of the most. I thought for sure that this wasn't going to be as stable as it is, but watch this. I mean, the ADS is a little bit slow. Absolutely beams from every range, and it's an AK, which I was expecting was going to jump everywhere. This AK absolutely shreds. Guys, you're not going to believe it. You build it just like this and you're going to be shocked. But for what I'm pairing this with, I have gone with the Fennec, and the Fennec is an interesting build. I kind of customized this to fit just right with the AK. Let's take a look. For the muzzle, I've gone with the AVR T90. That's going to give us horizontal and vertical, which you definitely need. We've gone with the VLK laser, which we know what that does. The hollow point rounds, because I haven't unlocked the auto armor piercing, it gives you, like, I think a little bit better base range or something like that. I'm not really sure, but I've gone with the hollow point. It feels really good. And we've just tuned it with the damage range and the bullet velocity like we have with all of our others. For the Cronin Mini Pro, I actually have not adjusted anything in terms of close and far, so I don't want to zoom myself out with this optic, and we've gone with the ADS speed. You don't have to run an optic with this. You can just do iron sights and maybe do a underbarrel or something. I don't really know, but or stock probably. Yeah, you'd probably run a stock, but I really love the optic with this because I don't like the iron sights at all. On top of that, we've gone with the Fennec rubber grip, and that is just going to give us that base ADS and sprint to fire that is invaluable with SMGs. Let's see how we've tuned this. With our muzzle, we've gone full gun kick control because this thing kicks like a mule. I've already shown you the hollow point. Cronin Mini Pro I've shown you, and the Fennec rubber, we've gone with sprint to fire and a little bit of ADS because we didn't need it to be much faster than what I'm about to show you. You can tell from the ADS, it's pretty much instant, and there is practically no recoil up until about 25 meters. We don't really want to be shooting it from 25 because we have the AK that's really just going to decimate that guy. This is going to be for this and just hip firing and just taking care of smaller targets up close. Again, you can use the iron sights. I just think the Cronin Mini Pro is so light and snappy, and obviously that ADS penalty is all but forgotten because we've tuned our weapon as such. So that's going to be loadout number 4. And finally, for our 5th and final loadout, we're going to be rocking the RAAL LMG and again the MP5. Now, a lot of you might be wondering why the RAAL LMG out of all the LMGs. I know RPK is pretty popular. Icarus is pretty popular. Well, let me show you why I think this is a sleeper LMG and why I've left it at number 5 is it's kind of like a personal pick. And then, of course, the MP5. So I'm not going to go over the MP5 again. It's the exact same build as before, but I just couldn't find a better pairing with an LMG. I could go Hurricane, but I just love the MP5 for what it does. It's a personal favorite. You guys can go with the Hurricane if you want. It would pair pretty good with this, but the MP5 I just think is an objectively better gun. I might be wrong for saying that, but I love it. It's the same build as I could think in loadout number 1 or 2. So just rock that. And then we have the LMG right here, the RAAL baby. Okay, I have focused everything on recoil control for a specific reason. Okay, this is a personal build. Everything else I pretty much have extrapolated from CDL pros and professional players. This one is my baby. So if it's not good, blame me and blame nobody else. For the muzzle, I've gone with the TA CG76. This is going to be for horizontal and vertical. It even gives you more benefit horizontal and vertical than other muzzles do. For the Rhino, or for the barrel, I've gone with the Rhino. It's going to give recoil control and bullet velocity. Another real focus on this. I've gone with the SA side grip for all just recoil type attachments so you guys can just keep it as a beam. I've done the magazine high velocity once again. And for the optic, I've gone with Cronin Mini Pro. Now, I might go VLK on launch day back and forth to test it. But from what I've tested in Invasion, it's just really difficult to like deal with the visual recoil of VLK. Again, I just might not have tested it enough, but I'm going to try the Cronin Mini and maybe try the VLK, and I'll let you know how it goes. For the tunings, I've gone with the recoil stabilization and gun kick. Here with the RAAL. For the Rhino barrel, I've gone with ADS speed and recoil because it has a lot of damage range and has terrible ADS. So we've gone to try to help it out a little bit there. For the side grip, I've done the aiming idle because it does sway a lot and recoil stabilization at the expense of that ADS. And for the Cronin Mini Pro, once again, oh, I haven't tuned this yet. I've gone with FAR, and I'm actually going to go with ADS speed. I think I flipped optics and forgot to switch it back. So there's that. Here's our RAAL, and let's take a look at how it plays, guys. So now that we're in the firing range, you guys are going to see the mobility is very slow as you would expect from an LMG. I think there's other LMGs like the Icarus and even the RPK that would have a little bit better mobility, but what they don't have is absolute power when you shoot from pretty much any range. Now, of course, having like this 1x optic is kind of tough if you're going to be doing, you know, having gunfights from really far ranges. You see how tight the bullet spread is? Let me just show you the difference in when you do VLK. And I still don't think that it's going to really give it justice, because where this shows, I'm going to go down here to ADS and FAR. Where this doesn't show is like a lot of fights are going to be farther than this. But I mean, obviously with the VLK, it's going to keep it pretty close. But the visual kind of, I mean, it's not even just visual. It just feels like you really feel more recoil when you throw on the VLK. But I'm barely holding down, and it seems to be doing pretty good. So in the firing range, I found that it's not too bad with the VLK. But in real gunfights, I just think it might be a little bit more bouncy than the Corona Mini. I'll have to like test that more and get back to you guys. But this is kind of my baby. So if you don't want to try this, that's fine. And I'm just really excited to try the RAAL. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's all 5 of my favorite top loadouts that we're going to be rocking in Warzone 2. Let me know if I missed a gun, or if you guys think that you have another build that would be better in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, liked the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.